Negotiations between Europe and Sadc on the Economic Partnership Agreement have come to a conclusion. All partners have initialed the agreement, which will allow South African Custom Union members greater access to the European markets. The trade agreement, which was 10 years in the making, will allow South Africa to export more wine and sugar duty-free to Europe.
This brings to an end around about a decade of engagement on this subject. This is just one particular region of the African, Caribbean and Pacific. There are different processes in other regions, and some of them are completed, some of them are not. But just to be clear, the Sadc EPA grouping is not all of Sadc. It is South Africa, Botswana, Lesotho, Namibia and Swaziland, all members of SARC, in other words, of the South African Customs Union. And I think that as we report the conclusion of the negotiating process, I think the message I would want to send out is that we believe that through the negotiation and through sometimes being very frank and if you want, stubborn at times in the negotiating process, we have achieved something which I think is an improvement, and an improvement in two senses. Firstly, an improvement in terms of commercial additional market access, which is meaningful for South Africa. And secondly, something which is better than some of the earlier drafts of the EPAs, where there were some very serious concerns about some of the commitments that were being sought from us and some of the differentiated commitments that were being sought from us. South Africa continues to be regarded by the EU as different from everybody else, and so we have not been offered duty-free, quota-free. We've been offered an improvement over what we've got, and not everything. But we have secured, I think, a meaningful improvements in a number of areas. So what are these? Well, first of all, I think they are in sugar. For the first time, we will have access for raw and refined sugar on a preferential basis into the EU, and 150,000 tonnes of sugar will be able to enter the European Union at zero duty. And then on wines, the existing quota is increased to 110 million litres of wine, which will also enter without duties. The other main payment is in the area of something called geographic indications. Geographic indications, these are geographic place names on products which, where the basic rule is that only products that are produced in those geographic areas can use those trade names. Now there's a list of a couple of hundred of these. Mostly they are products which are not commercially used in the South African market, but it does constitute a big concession in principle to the EU that we recognize these things. They also reach beyond the level of alcoholic products, where most of them, we know wines and spirits and all those sorts of things, port and sherry, we all know those ones from the TBCA. There are a number of alcoholic products that are there, but they also now are specialized foodstuffs, cheeses, specialized meats and so on. But one that does is Feta Cheese, and the arrangement there is that existing users of the name Feta Cheese will be able to continue to do so, but new entrants will have limitations imposed on them for the use of that name. In return for that, we also have a number of geographic indications that will be recognized now in the European Union. The majority of those are wine names. Robertson wine, Bonnievale wine, I don't know what, all those are, most of the list is those kinds of names. But there are three food products, or three non-alcoholic products, which are important. They are Rooibos tea, Honeybush tea, and Karoo Lamb. Those are the three that we've got there.